We actually combined functional medicine with psychotherapy, so very much being aware of how the mind affects the body and how the body affects the mind. It's actually a very, very complicated process if you want to help somebody to achieve total healing and wellness. And oftentimes what we're trying to do is help people to get off of their psychotropic medications, because we're finding that a lot of people are turning to psychotropic, psychiatric medications as a way to relieve their anxiety, their depression, and other mental health illnesses that they have, or insomnia. A lot of people struggle with insomnia. And so with that, a lot of people are still unhappy because they don't realize that these medications are not happy pills. And maybe these medications are helping them to dull some of their pain, but they're still not as motivated as they would otherwise be, or they're very flatlined, or they're just not happy. And then what happens is they start on one medication, maybe for depression, and then that medication might have an anxiety effect, and so then now they're on another medication, and then after that, they're having trouble with insomnia, so now they're on another medication. So we often find that people are on cocktails of medications and still not getting the help that they need. We look at what the actual core issues are that are causing maybe the anxiety or the depression or the insomnia. And oftentimes what we find is that these are symptoms of post-traumatic stress. Now, a lot of times people think that post-traumatic stress is something that's experienced maybe if you were in an accident, or you were raped, or you perhaps
came back from war
or something very major. What they don't understand is that our minds actually process painful experiences very different than normal, regular memory processing. And so what happens is, because of that, we are left with remnants of that pain and that suffering that sort of travels with us throughout our life. And for many people, they sort of become frozen in that experience. So what I mean by that is, for instance, let's say you were raped, or you were sexually assaulted. In that experience of being sexually assaulted, your mind and your body went through a separation to survive that experience. Okay, a separation being a dissociative state. And in that dissociative state, your emotions get stored in one part of the brain, the event gets stored in another part of the brain, and then you're left with the core-rooted belief system. So you form belief systems as a result of the events that happen to you. And oftentimes when there's a negative event that happens to you, you're left with a negative belief system. Maybe I'm out of control, I'm unwanted, I'm unloved, I'm unworthy. You also might be left with an emotional reaction, and that might be being on alert, feeling unsafe. So you might then find yourself having trouble sleeping at night, for instance. But people don't often link the two effects together. So when that happens, that person sort of becomes frozen in their experience. And now that experience informs their attitudes, informs their behaviors on a conscious and a subconscious level. So even if over time someone thinks, oh, I'm over that, they may be left with the remnants of the experiences of that event that have then now informed their current relationships or their decisions. And this is oftentimes what people call sabotaging behavior. So we have certain techniques that we can utilize to basically rewrite the way our mind experiences things that happen to us on a subconscious level that may be affecting us, and it may be out of our awareness that it affects us. So once that's transformed, we basically are then reshaping our next steps in life. And it's pretty much the best way that we have to begin to reauthor for ourselves on a subconscious level how the future takes place. And so everything that I do is about helping somebody to live in the future and in the present in the best way that they possibly can. So even if I am working on the past, it's only to help that person live a better life in the future.